instead of talking about Hyderabad, I'm going to take a few minutes and talk about what's happening in the rest of the world. So the US, when you compare India to the United States, it's a $6 billion square feet commercial real estate. India is about 750 million square feet, of which 400 million square feet is institutionalized, so the Brookfields, the institutions have actually picked up these assets. And 300 million is with the rest of the developers across India. But US is about 6 billion square feet, of which 1.5 billion square feet right now is empty as we speak. And 1.5 billion square feet is actually coming up for renewals in the next 24 months, 18 to 24 months. The vacancy rates, right? I mean, Sir was talking about, you know, what Hyderabad is doing, or for that matter, the rest of India is doing. So you have vacancy rates as high or ranging between 20 to 25% in the whole of United States. So you take any market there, is about 20 to 25%. About 1 billion square feet of space, like I said, but more important, $1 trillion is expected to be paid back over the next 6 to 12 months to the banks. Imagine that, $1 trillion of debt is lying with commercial real estate developers in the United States. Out of the 1 trillion, close to 80% of the 1 trillion, right? And I have the big banks here as well, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chases of the world. Out of the 1 trillion debt, 80% is owned by smaller banks. If they don't roll over these debts in the next 12 to 24 months, the entire commercial real estate market is going to come crashing in the United States. That's the plight of United States as we speak today. And again, no disrespect to anybody here, every single large institutionalized player in the United States, whether it's Blackstone, whether it's Brookfields, whether it's WeWork, all have defaulted on their payments in the last 24 months. They have given away buildings, given back buildings to the major banks, saying that I can't afford to pay, please take back these buildings. So in Chicago, I'll give you an example. You can get 25 cents to $1 on any commercial building in downtown Chicago. So you pay 25 cents, the banks are willing to write the entire building back to you. So 25 cents to $1, that's the crisis the United States has as we speak today. Let's just take a leap of faith and just move to the other side of the world. China, 30% of China's GDP is dependent on real estate. 30 freaking percent. 25% is the vacancy as we speak in China today, of which again the range is anywhere going up to, from 18% going up to 27% from Guangzhou, Beijing, Shanghai. There's so much of space available. Rentals have come down by 3 to 4%, but more important is that the population owes $12.3 billion in debt, and most of it is for housing debt to the banks. That is the state of China. And let's just again move to our favorite country, India. Yeah, the fastest growing economy, 7%. Highest foreign direct investments, $19.4 billion that has come into the market space. $3.1 billion has come into from an institution standpoint, into the Indian real estate over the last, I would say 6 months. 61 million square feet has been absorbed last year, and this year we're expecting to absorb about 60 million square feet. So India average 60 million this year again. 2 lakh residential units have been sold this year so far. And our favorite city now. I don't need to tell you all of this. You know what's happening in the state. You know what's happening in Hyderabad. I think of all the cities, and you know, my friends Sunanda and was saying before we met, she was saying, you know, Bangalore, Hyderabad is competing with Bangalore in a big way. True. I think Hyderabad's way ahead of Bangalore when it comes to some of the infrastructure developments that they're talking about. 10,000 crores for the development of Hyderabad. We're talking about outer ring roads, railways, metro rail, all of it, phase 2 for the metro rail. the kind of money that's going in the market space in Hyderabad is far, far greater. Now, just compare this with the United States or China, because you have a market that's literally at its seams. It's just falling apart in the United States. The word on the street people use in the United States, if you're a commercial real estate developer, is you are radioactive. Nobody wants to touch you. That's the plight of the United States. India by far, I mean, even for that matter, Hyderabad is doing much, much better. So far, 3.4 million square feet of absorption in Q2 of 2024. Our share in the Indian market space, if you look at the 60 million, 14% to 19%, Hyderabad's grown. 58% still being occupied, or the absorption is happening by the IT and IT-enabled services. And 94% of the leasing that has happened, and I met a lot of my colleagues from the real estate industry, has happened in Madhapur, Gachibowli, Rayadurgam and High-Tech City. Average rentals from 69, this is the average rentals, but by and large, you know, we have rentals going up to 85 rupees as well. This is the retail part. Again, I think there's a lot of retail activity that's also picked up. Hyderabad never had retail. We always from Bangalore used to say we have a UB city, we have some of the best malls in our part of the world. But I think Hyderabad is catching up there as well. Residential, that's another thing. So an average residential unit in Bangalore is 1800 square feet going up to 2400 square feet, and that's it. Hyderabad is 4000 to 5000 square feet. 3-bedroom is a 4,000 square feet, 4-bedroom is 5,000 square feet, unheard of, and the units are selling. Compared to Bangalore, where we are struggling to sell luxury units, Hyderabad is doing immensely well. I mean, these are all indicators that people are actually moving away from other cities and finding Hyderabad as a destination. 10 years ago, when I first walked into the city, even though this is my home city, I never thought I would live here. Now, I'm proudly saying that I now live in Hyderabad, and this is one of the best cities to live in India. With that, thank you guys. This is just a precursor to all the good stuff that you guys are going to be doing. But I just thought I'll just give you the insight on where the global economy is with respect to corporate real estate. We are absolutely in a great spot today, and I think this is the best time for India from a real estate standpoint. Thank you very much.